Don't tell me what your father told you. I'm cross. Are you cold?
A little bit.
I know it's freezing in here. I like it like a meat locker. But some people get cold. Who was caring for her before you moved into the house?
My daughter.
Who were you?
I'm the granddaughter of, I'm his daughter.
Okay, stand up. Is what your raised hand suggest to me that you were living with your grandfather?
I was living in a house until 2008 when my aunt moved in.
Okay, so you were actually taking care of your grandmother.
Yes.
After she got sick.
Yes.
Was your grandfather okay?
He had a heart attack and he was recovering, and then she had a stroke.
Sounds like you had your hands full.
I did.
Did you have any other help?
No, my dad and my other aunts that lived in California at the time, they all came over occasionally to help out and relieve me so I can have some type of life.
Okay. You lived there until what year?
Until 2008.
And continued to help take care of your grandparents?
Yes.
What about this aunt? Did she come to visit?
She moved out here from Atlanta in 2008, 2009.
And is that when she came to live at the house?
Yes, and then that's when I moved out.
And your father was still there?
Yes.
In 2008, your father was still there. What's your first name?
Cheryl.
Cheryl. So Cheryl moved in, you moved out. She sort of assumed whatever duties you were doing with then just your father, correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, I moved there in 2011.
Oh, well.
Got the dates wrong. Would that be right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so you were actually there then for quite some time.
I lived in a house since I was 5.
Did your mother live in the house?
For a brief moment.
So you were really raised by your grandparents?
Yes.
Now I got it. So you were raised by your grandparents, you always lived there, you didn't move out until 2011?
Yeah.
So their loss was hardest on you?
Yes.
I got it. Now I'm creating a family picture. Do you know anything about the disagreements that started to exist between your father and your Aunt Cheryl?
No.
You don't know anything?
I only know from the time when I moved back in 2019. That's when everything started to come to a head.
Tell me why you moved back in 2019.
My grandfather ran into a wall, and he was unable to drive and take himself places, so he asked me to come back to help him out, to take him and his friends to the grocery store on the weekends.
At that time, your father was still living there?
No.
What about Aunt Cheryl?
She was there.
What did she do in the house?
She occasionally cooked and occasionally cleaned.
Did you get along with her?
Yes, I did. I actually love all of my aunts.
Good. Okay. Mr. Williamson, Miss Williamson, you went back and forth to visit your grandfather?
Well, yes, I live in a back house until the issues started to arise. I have a daughter, and I didn't want her to be traumatized by any of the family drama.
Very smart. Your grandparents did a very good job.
Thank you.
They did. Good for them, good for you. And Miss Williamson, when the property was disposed of, your grandfather and your father was alive.
Right.
He was occupying his own home.
Correct.
Okie dokie. Now, let's talk about your counterclaim. You can have a seat now, Miss Williamson. I'm not going to get you further involved in all this drama.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome. Pursuant to the property settlement, what did your brother, if anything, receive from your father's estate? Just either.
Nothing.
That's a number. That's a number.
Zero.
Well, it sounds to me like you're living in the house that you didn't live at for a whole time. Where is your niece living?
She doesn't live with me. I don't know where she lives.
Was she living there with her daughter at the time your father passed? That's either a yes or a no.
No.
Well, I moved out this year because I had to call the police because she kept changing the locks on the doors when I come home from work. So every time I would go home, when I try to get in, she'll change the locks.
Got it. I got the story.
That's not true, Your Honor.
I don't care whether it's true or not. You got the house. She'd been living there since she was 5 years old, and she's not living there anymore. She was, in fact, living there until your father died.
No, she was living with her grandmother. My father asked me, how do you think about Unica moving in? And I want to be nice. I want to say no.
Okay. He raised her. He raised her. Miss Williamson, your case is dismissed.